I've gone through all four boxes of half dollars from Detroit. Whew, that was atrocious. I didn't get anything. It was awful. Oh well, that's okay. In fact, it was so bad, I thought, you know what, I better open up a roll of pennies just to make sure we're going to get some copper. And so I did, and so let me show you. I think I'm like two rows in. And I do have copper, and I just came to my first Canadian, like, yay! And let me show you where I'm at. We'll start right there. Okay, I've already done a roll, and I found a couple of really nice specimens um, of copper. This is a 64. It's just a really nice one. And this is a 79. It's really in good shape, but it's got purple. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but it's got purple toning on it. Anyway, it's a really nice one. I can see it's off center a little bit too. But anyway, set those aside. I've got some copper, and I got my first Canadian penny. So that's cool. So the pennies are going to be fun. 1985. We have copper there, and I'm going to have fun with these at least. I was really disappointed with those half dollars, but I didn't know what to expect. I just thought it'd be fun, and the trip was fun. The half dollars weren't quite so fun. There we go. There's copper. We're going to get to put some hoarding copper away. Hey, oh, look at that. My first wheat penny as well. 1955D. Well, that's cool. That's what I like to see. And there's a red penny. We'll set that one aside. The reds are pretty cool. Yeah, neato. Alright, we're into something here. Copper. I still constantly think of cartoons when I say copper. Copper! Is that 81? Nope. Here's my next roll, set up into two rolls. 68 copper, 66, 74D. Wow, what in the world? That's the back. 77. It's copper. $66, 80, 94, I think it says. 74. There's good copper in here. For sure. 80. It's another red back. It's an 82, but it's very, very red. I don't know if you can pick that up. '81, 71. I put the 81 in the wrong pile. Okay. 59. 7. Oh wow. That's another very, very nice one. 72D. Oh my, yeah, the back of it. I'll try to show it to you a little bit better picture, but it's really nice. 78, 68, Now the very next roll, I found my next Canadian. That's very cool. 1970. It's copper. It's an 82. Listen. Copper. This is I'm very pleased. Looks like a lot of copper in this box, and that's cool. There's another beat up 82. Copper. 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 62, 71, 72. Oh, I am dropping so bad. Okay. A lot of them off center. $82. Cool. Very next row. Look at this. Is that cool? I think I've got one of these before. I think that's Panama. Urraca. I can't even pronounce Urraca. Let's see. Upside down. Yeah, Republic de Panama. 1987. That's quite cool. I'll have to look up and find out if that's copper. Very cool. 79. 78. 64, 76. 74. My tripod is just a little bit too tall. I think I'm going to order another shorter one that I can use right here at the table like this. 1980, it's got some rainbow color in it. Just 2 rolls later, and now I have my second wheat penny. It's a 1956D. Pretty cool. I didn't do good with the $half, but I'm pretty... Oh, look at that. 1944. That's cool. All right. In the same row. It's my third wheat. Anyway, even though I didn't do good with the $half, I am doing good with the copper. And we had a good time. So I think we're going to do it again soon. Shoulder looks like it's been hot and melted there. Anyone? Yeah, so maybe we'll go to Nashville in a couple of weeks. I've been wanting to go down there. Copper, copper. Oh, I think I see a 12-sided Canadian there. $1991. Nice. 81, copper. Oh, there's another one. And, oh, there's another one. All right. That's nice. 73. Cool beans. Use that one. 1970. Man, that's sweet. So I've had 2 wheat pennies and what's that? 3 coppers? I mean 3 Canadians? In one row. 82. 4. There's another one. Well, that's what I was hoping was going to happen, and that's really cool. 1965. That is 4 Canadians in this row. It says 88. Several 82s. 80. Well, that was a sweet roll there. Well, my very next roll, I've had a few coppers, and then here is another Canadian. This is one of the newer ones. It is not copper, but it sure is in nice shape. 2006. That's the year before they quit making them. That is really in good shape, though. That's pretty cool. Copper. Yeah, maybe I should go back up there sometime, get a bunch of pennies, and then we'll try some maybe dimes and nickels and quarters and just see what happens there. $73. Copper. This is pretty sweet. I'm pretty tickled with this. And fortunately, I did get the 1 silver down in Ohio. So I didn't come home totally empty-handed. We are on our way home from going to Detroit and picking up $50 and pennies. On the way to Detroit and on the way back, I have stopped at so many banks. Most of them didn't have $50. I did have pennies, so I bought extra to go through. Finally got a silver. It's a 40%er. Oh, there's another Canadian. Again, it's not a copper one, but another. That looks like if this box keeps up like this, that's going to be a lot of Canadian coins I'm finding. And that is part of the reason I went, was to find that. A couple of rolls later, and I found my next Canadian penny, 1972, copper. Very cool. Oh, cool. That's a dark one, ain't it? Wow. Wheat penny. 1945. I believe that's, what, my 4th? Very nice. Copper. Just a couple rolls later, and I just found my next Canadian. Can't hardly read that. 1981. That's copper. I'm finding a good amount of copper in this box. I'm pretty pleased. It's a rainbow color. That's pretty cool. Let's set that aside. Well, this particular roll ain't producing quite as much, but I am finding a good amount. Here's another one. 2 rolls later, and I find another Wheatie, a 1949 Philadelphia. So cool. Copper. 82. Oh, cool. Canadian. 1969. Nice. Man, I'm getting a nice stack of them. Copper. Oh, another wheat penny. Cool. All right. That's a nice roll. 1945 Philadelphia. I believe that's number 6. Yep. Number 6 for them. Very nice. Well, it's cool getting something really neat from up there. Copper. 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 Cool beans. Just as soon as I open the next roll, I see another Canadian penny. 1979. Very cool. Almost everybody that writes to me is just, super cool, kind, and we talk about, the collection or hoarding or whatever it is. But every now and then, I'm getting a small percentage of people saying, "You're just wasting your time," or something. I'm like, well, thanks for watching my video. My first question is, do you play video games? Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's just funny somebody telling somebody else what they're doing is a waste of time. We do what we like to do. 1959. There's another Canadian. That's so fun. 1979. I've already found more Canadians than in the rolls I've gone through from this Detroit box than I usually find in a whole box from anywhere else I've gone through. Two rolls later, I found another Canadian. This is one of the 12-sided ones. 1994. The last roll, I found another Canadian penny, but it was not one of the copper ones. One of the cool things about the Canadian copper pennies, first of all, they go up to 96, whereas the USA ones, only went to 82. And they're all 98% copper, whereas the USA ones were 95. So, it's just a little bit different. Now, the Canadian pennies, especially the newer ones, didn't weigh as much. That one I just found there is 2.5 grams, whereas the USA coppers are 3.1 gram. Copper. I'm finding a good amount of copper. I'm finding a lot of Canadian. Really cool. So I'm think I'm at 6 wheats. So it's yeah, this is really great. It's it's early morning, by the way. I got tired last night and went to bed about midnight. I woke up at 6 o'clock from the crazy mosquito itch. So I went ahead and got up and got to looking at my pennies. Got a lot of 82s. Copper. Hey, 2 rows later is another Canadian copper, another 12-sided. I just get a kick out of it. There's another one. Copper. 1976. That's really cool. 82. Copper, 82. I'm gonna look at that one closer. Probably nothing. So I've got a question for you. When you first wake up in the morning, are you way more talkative or not as talkative until you get going for a while? I'm usually not quite as talkative. There's a third Canadian penny. 1999, so this one is not copper. That's my 4th one of those I found. Copper. Here's my jam-packed little work area. Zinc, my 82s, today's copper. This is the box I'm going through now. That's the box that I got of all the ones I gathered while I was in Ohio. Gold scrap for what I'm going to be doing, some gold recovery. Got some old dead phones that I'll be getting some, gold parts off of and stuff. Bunch of empty boxes and a bunch of just things I've gathered up, wheat pennies and NIFCs and different stuff. And I think there's some nickels in there. Oh, there's the furnace I just got. Hoping to get that thing cranked up here in a few days. Pretty cool. That's one of the boxes of halves that had nothing in it from Detroit. Yeah, well, it had $50 in it. All right, let's get back to it. That'd be cool to find a wheat penny in this row. I haven't found a wheat penny in several rows now. Oh, speaking of that, there's the little stack of the non-Canadian copper. There's the Panama. There's my copper stack of Canadian pennies. And there's my wheat pennies. And then just some different ones. Oh, I finally found one of the 2009s. And I got just a couple of them that are just super, super nice condition. a couple of red ones that I'll look at. I may, when they're really nice like that or that, then I'll protect them and just put them away for another day. Right at the very beginning of the next row, I found another one, another Canadian. It is one of the 12-sided coppers. I showed you my copper. I showed you my stack over there a minute ago, and then I just turned the phone off, and I got to looking back at it. It's like, well, I don't know why I turned it off. I was right in the middle of going through a row with you guys. I found some more copper, but I didn't find any wheat penny or another Canadian. I tried to set up my tripod to do this, and it's too tall. I need to get a little short one that I can sit beside me for this to make it stationary. It just doesn't work well with what I'm doing here at the right angle so I can see the ears. I got a pretty good amount of copper going there. I'm pretty positive it's going to be over my 3 pounds that average, which, here lately, I'd say my average has dropped just under 3. It's close to 3 pounds, but not quite. Seems like almost every box has been 2 pounds, 12 ounces, something like that. Just a little bit under. I'm pretty confident this one's going to be over. Kind of want to weigh that one. It feels zinky, but yeah, it sounds like zinc. 82. I'm still only at, I think, 6 wheat pennies. I hope I get my 10 still, but if I don't, that's okay. I'm getting good copper and a lot of Canadians. Next row, I'll find another Canadian. This looks like the newer non-copper type. Yeah, 96. It's the queen when she's a little bit older. Oh, something kind of funny. When we were talking about making plans for this trip up to Detroit, I was getting ready to get a room. And I go through a couple of different things. Priceline is one of the things I use to get discounts. And you can get pretty good discounts with them. But I knew I wanted to stay in Toledo and then head up to Detroit pretty early the next morning. And my wife's like, please get a nice room. So I'm kind of a cheapskate. So I did. I got a Marriott, but it's still a good price. It really was. But I would have definitely gotten cheaper if it had just been me. My cousin and I, my cousin and I used to travel quite a bit. And we like to stay at Days Inn because I could get good prices on Priceline, and they always have the free breakfast. Almost always have the free breakfast, so that was kind of fun. And I thought the rooms were fine most of the time. Is that another one right there? 1970. It's copper. Cool, man. It was a nice room we stayed in. 1961. Very nice. They're really stacking up here, I tell you. I hope I find one of the even older than this before the Queen. Get one of the kings. Look at this, man. The very next roll, another Canadian. 1981. 1980 and 81, they had dropped the weight a little bit more. I'll have to go back and find it and tell you. So 80 and 81 was a little bit lesser weight than the 82, all the way up to 96 was, I think, the 2.5. And then back older was a little bit heavier, but they were all the 98% copper, just a different weight. I was talking about when me and my cousin would travel. We would go out west and go down to Big Bend, Texas, or out to Montana, and just goofing off, having a good time. And so we would try to save, go pretty cheaply. And so we sometimes we stayed in some pretty shady places, just trying to save $10-20. But I've never been robbed or nothing like that. It's always been cool. I think I might have heard my wife stirring. It's awfully early for her. But if it is her, she'll start the coffee because I haven't started it yet. That is a black penny. Look at that sight. Right at the end of the row. Found another Wheatie. So cool. What we got there? 44D. I believe that's 7 now. There's copper. Here is my 20th Canadian copper penny for this box. 1969. Plus I have like 7, I think, of the copper. 82. Of the non-copper variety. Oh, just to let you know, on the Canadian pennies, from 1908 to 1920, the pennies in Canada were 5.67 grams, but back then they were only 95.5% copper. And then from 1920 to 1941, they went to 3.24 grams, 95% copper. And they switched in 1942 to 98% copper, but they were still 3.24 grams from 42 to 79. And then 80 and 81, those 2 years, copper, they switched to 2.8 grams. And then those 12-sided ones, 82 to 96, they dropped to 2.5 grams. But they were still all 98% copper. Very next roll, I get one of the 12-sided copper Canadians, 1985. I believe that puts me at like 21. That's really cool, man. I usually get 3 or 4 or 5 at the most. I found a lot of 59s. And early in the very next row, I'll find another 12-sided. 1983. They're stacking up. I'm pretty excited to see what my total weight's going to be. Of course, I don't weigh the Canadian ones with my others, so that'll make a little bit of difference. But I still think I'm going to have over 3 pounds U.S. copper. Let's see another wheat penny pop up here. No wheat in that row. And here's another one. Man, I'm finding a bunch of them. 1969. Nice. The other day, I don't know what made me think of it, but it's an event that happened, gosh, back in my early 20s, before I was married. We had a family farm, a pretty nice family farm. I didn't live on it, but I spent a lot of time there. And there's farming and woods and all this stuff that goes along a river. And sadly, we don't have the farm anymore. It was sold before it got into my hands. Anyway, I asked a friend of mine if he wanted to go camping for a few days. And he's like, yeah, he'd never done that before. I'll turn it back on in a second. Okay, there we go. Next row. So we get down there, and I don't know why in the world, it was cold. I mean, I had sleeping bags and stuff, but it was not like summer or anything. It was winter. And we got down there, and we found an old shack down there, and we stayed in there to get out of the wind, got our sleeping bag set up. We had a good time. We cooked out and hiked and played with made fires and messed around, just poking the fire and whatnot. Just had a good time. But him never had been camping before. He was reluctant to use the bathroom outside. Just kind of squeamish about, the number 2 thing. Excuse me. But he just kind of held everything in the whole trip. He never acted like he wasn't comfortable. Anyway, when we finally were heading home, we were down there like 3 days, I think. And when we were finally heading home, we went past this old general store gas station, that has the old bathroom outside on the side of the building. And he's like, pull in here, pull in here. And we pull in, and I'm sitting there waiting. He is in there forever. Another car pulls up, and they're sitting there waiting, and they're getting frustrated. And another car pulls up, and they're waiting. I'm telling you, he was in there for 45 minutes. And these people are standing at the door, or sitting at the car right there next to the door. And all of a sudden, the door burst open, and he comes running out, and the water is just pouring out behind him, where he had clogged up the pipes. Oh, what a mess. He jumped in the car, and we took off just as fast as we could. That was a funny sight to see the water pouring out behind him. A lot of copper. The very next row, there's another Canadian copper, 1961. Man, that is so neat. I love finding those things. Oh, look. Found another one. I believe that's number 8. 1952D. Ha ha. All right. Copper. It was cold down there camping out. I don't know why in the world. We one night it snowed on us. We got in this old shack and it had holes in the walls, but in fact, I think my dad had lived in this shack when he was a kid. Him and some of his brothers, they lived in a little bitty house, and there was like 9 kids, and so several of the brothers moved into this old shack for a spell, just to, you know, spread out a little bit. But by the time I got there, it was really, really worn down. But we had little cots that we had folded out and put our sleeping bags on. And we woke up the next morning. I think it was like 20 degrees, snowing. Oh, it. We had to pee so bad we couldn't stand it, but we didn't want to. There's another 12-sided copper. We didn't want to get out from that sleeping bag. Oh my goodness. A couple rolls later, and here's another 12-sided copper, 1988, Canadian. That's a whole bunch of Canadians. Just in case I didn't make it really clear, we each had our own cotton sleeping bag. I didn't want to put off any other vibes. I don't personally, or didn't back then, I don't know how to feel. I haven't camped in a while, but I didn't need a cot, but maybe he wanted them. I don't remember the circumstances. I have gone down there camping before, and it was really, just got there late, a really pitch dark night. And I just laid down in the field and went to sleep. Didn't even pitch a tent or anything. So, I enjoyed it down there. Well, I got just a handful of rolls left. I hope I get another wheat penny or two. Look at this. I just pulled this roll out of the box. 1970. That was pretty cool. Ender. I'll separate the Canadian pennies out in their weight classes. A lot of people don't do that because they all are all 98% copper, but just for fun, that's what I do. I put each one in their weight class. Love to see another wheat one pop up. 82. Hey, this copper's stacking up today. This is really cool. If you haven't noticed, I've got the zinc going this way and the copper going that way. Oh, that's nice. Not quite one I'm going to put away. A lot of 82s. Looks like no wheatie in this row. Another 82. I am in my second to last roll. Here's another Canadian copper, 1981. Oh, I also looked up that Panama coin. I mean, it looks like a penny. And it's made of bronze, which is basically 80, in most cases, is 88% copper and 12% tin. 59. I have found so many 59s. There's another one. Well, I don't think I'm going to get the 10 wheats this time, but that's alright. It's a good box. I'm almost at the end of my last roll, and look at that, back to back. What? Cool. 1975 and 1975. Oh. All right. Okay, that is it. I am at the end, and I'll get those separated out in their weight classes. I'll weigh out the 82s and see what's copper. Add that to today's copper and weigh that and let you know what I find. That's definitely over the 3 pounds. I've weighed out the 82s and added them to today's copper, and it is over 4 pounds. That is so cool. And the Canadians, I got 8 wheat pennies. On the Canadians, I got 16 of the 3.24 grams. I got 4 of the 2.8 grams and 10 of the 2.5 grams of all these 98% copper. And then I got 7 of the later date non-copper ones. I got I got 2 of the 2009s, a couple of the red ones that are just nice looking, and then I got the Panama, and then a couple of just really good condition ones. I'll just put those away and keep them separate. Really, really good box. And hey guys, this is just box number 1. I've got 3 more boxes from Detroit, not to mention that box there from Ohio, which I'm hoping to get some good stuff in that. When I get these rolls right here, they kind of scare me. They feel like they may be the ones the collectors went through, but we'll see. There's a lot of them that are not. Still a bunch of them in there that are sealed too. So hey, thanks for watching. Give me some comments. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next box.